Do you know that even a small coin carries a big piece of history within it? Most of us just see it as a piece of metal, but when you look closer, you realize it holds stories of pride, struggle, and time itself. Before we begin, let me remind you of something very important. Every worker deserves the reward for their hard work, and the only reward for our effort is your one click on the subscribe button. That single click is our true wage, our motivation, our strength to keep working harder, researching deeper, and bringing you more amazing stories from the world of rare and historical coins. So please, pay us for our hard work by subscribing. That's all we ask. Now, let's move into a story that will take you deep into the heart of America, to a state where freedom and equality are more than just words. This is the story of the Wyoming quarter, a coin that shines with the spirit of courage, history, and pride. Released in 2007 under the United States 50 State Quarters program, this coin proudly carries the image of a cowboy riding a wild horse, a symbol of bravery and the untamed spirit of the West. Look closely and you'll see the words, Wyoming 1890, the Equality State. That date, 1890, marks the year when Wyoming officially became a state. But why the Equality State? Because Wyoming was the very first state to give women the right to vote. A bold decision that made history and set an example for the entire nation. On the bottom of the coin, the Latin phrase "a pluribus unum" is written, meaning out of many, one. It represents the unity of all states, all people, all hearts under one nation. The Wyoming quarter is not just a coin. It's a reminder of courage, equality, and the spirit of those who believe in freedom for all. So, if this story touched your heart, then show your support. Subscribe to the channel right now, because your one small action gives life to our work. Every coin hides a story, and on this channel, every story hides a lesson. Stay connected, because the next coin might just tell you something you've never heard before. Do you know that sometimes a small coin can carry a story more valuable than gold? A story born in the middle of war, courage, and history itself. Before we begin, let me remind you of something. Every hard-working person deserves to be rewarded for their effort. The only reward we ask for is your one small click on the subscribe button. That single click is our true wage, our motivation to keep working hard, researching rare coins, and bringing you more hidden stories from history. So please pay us for our hard work, not with money, but with your subscribe, because your support is what keeps us alive. Now let's talk about this incredible coin, the 1944 S. Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like just an ordinary old coin, but the truth behind it makes it one of the most talked-about coins in American history. During World War II, in 1943, the United States Mint stopped using copper for pennies because copper was needed for making weapons and military equipment. So they made pennies out of steel coated with zinc instead. But in 1944, they switched back to copper using recycled shell casings from the war. A powerful symbol that even in destruction, something valuable could be created again. The S under the date 1944 stands for San Francisco Mint, where these coins were struck. Most of these pennies were made of copper, but a few rare ones were accidentally made using leftover steel, planchets from 1943, and those rare mistakes are now worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to collectors. The 1944 S penny reminds us that even the smallest objects can hold the biggest stories, stories of war, survival, and rebirth. So if this story touched your heart, show us your love and appreciation by subscribing to our channel. Every subscribe is a symbol of respect for the hard work behind these historical treasures. Stay connected because behind every coin lies a mystery, and behind every mystery, there's a lesson waiting to be discovered. Do you know that the subscribe button you press is not just a click for us, it's our real reward. It gives us the strength to work harder, to explore hidden treasures, and to bring you the rarest stories from the world of coins. So please, give us your support, Wes, because every click you make is the wage for our hard work. Now let's begin today's fascinating story. In the world of modern coins, few designs carry as much meaning and history as the one you're looking at right now, the 2010 D. Lincoln penny. This small copper-colored coin might look ordinary, but it carries over a century of American history in its metal. On the front, you see the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th, President of the United States, a man who fought to keep his country united and ended slavery. His portrait first appeared on the penny in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of his birth. That design became so beloved that it never left circulation, even through the many decades that followed. Now, the D mark on this coin tells a special story. It stands for the Denver Mint, one of the United States' main mints, located in Denver, Colorado. Each mint leaves its own mark, a small letter that identifies where the coin was made. So every D penny like this one was carefully struck in Denver, using zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. By 2010, the U.S. had already switched from pure copper pennies to zinc ones, a change that began in 1982 to save costs as copper prices rose. But the year 2010 also had its own place in Lincoln penny history. Just a year before, in 2009, the U.S. Mint released 4 special designs on the back of the coin to celebrate 200 years since Lincoln's birth. When 2010 arrived, it marked the beginning of a brand new, reverse design, a bold image of the Union shield, symbolizing Lincoln's success in keeping the United States together after the Civil War. The shield carries 13 vertical stripes for the original states and a single banner across the top, with the words E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. It's a message of unity, strength, and perseverance. The 2010 D penny, therefore, became the first full-year issue to feature that shield design, replacing the long-standing Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been used since 1959. Collectors quickly noticed the clean, modern look, a design that honored history while representing a new era for American coinage. Although billions were minted, certain errors and high-grade, uncirculated pieces can still be worth more than their face value today. Coins with double strikes, off-center minting, or unusual color tones are especially sought after by collectors. Do you know what truly motivates us to work harder every day? It's your one small gesture, pressing that red subscribe button. That's not just support, it's our reward, our encouragement to keep collecting history and bringing it to life for you. So take a second, press subscribe, and let's begin another journey through time. Imagine holding in your hand a simple penny, shining faintly under the light, the 2017 D Lincoln penny. It looks ordinary, yet inside it carries over a century of American history, leadership, and unity. On the front, you'll see the calm and thoughtful face of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner all the way back in 1909, the very first time a real person was ever placed on a U.S. coin. Turn it over, and there's the Union shield, a powerful symbol of 13 stripes joined under one banner, reminding every American of the hard-won unity Lincoln fought to preserve. The Lincoln Sense journey began in 1909, marking the 100th birthday of a man who changed the course of history. Then in 1959, the wheat ears on the back gave way to the Lincoln Memorial, another tribute to his legacy. Decades later, in 2010, the Union shield appeared, replacing the memorial, but carrying the same spirit, the story of strength, sacrifice, and the dream of a united nation. By 2017, America stood in a time of political division. Yet the little penny remained a silent messenger of unity. More than 4.8 billion pennies were struck that year at the Denver Mint. Billions of tiny reminders of one man's courage and leadership. There were no big design changes, but the message stayed alive. Even the smallest things can carry the greatest meaning. Collectors may tell you the 2017 D penny isn't rare, and they're right. But rarity isn't always about numbers. Sometimes it's about the feeling a coin carries, the echo of the hands that made it, the story it whispers through time. A few have minting errors, off-center, strikes or double dies, and those are treasures for the lucky ones. Yet for most, the real value lies not in money, but in memory. So next time you see that humble penny, don't just pass it by. Remember that it's more than metal. It's a piece of history, a symbol of endurance, and a reflection of one man's dream that still guides a nation. Do you know that a coin is never just a coin? Sometimes it carries an entire story of history within its small circle. If you appreciate our hard work, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. because that small click is a huge reward for us. It's what gives us strength and motivation to keep working hard, to bring you the hidden history behind every coin that ever existed. Now let's take a journey through time. The year is 2014, and this is the Lincoln penny. At first glance, it may seem like just a small piece of copper, but deep within, it holds the spirit of a century. This coin is a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, his dreams, his ideals, and his sacrifices. A man who lit the flame of freedom in the darkest nights of slavery, teaching the world that liberty is every human's right. The story begins in 1909, when, for the first time in American history, the image of a real person appeared on a coin. And that person was Abraham Lincoln himself. It was the 100th anniversary of his birth, and the nation decided to honor the man whose words and deeds shaped America's soul. That year, history was engraved in copper. Then came 1959. 50 years later, a new design emerged. The Lincoln Memorial was added to the reverse side, that majestic building where his legacy still echoes, where thousands visit to remember his courage and vision. The penny was no longer just a medium of exchange. It became a silent monument, whispering that freedom never grows old. Time moved on, the world evolved, and in 2009, to celebrate Lincoln's 200th birthday, the penny transformed again, this time into 4 new designs. Each one told a chapter of his life, his humble beginnings, his struggles, his political rise, and his dream for a united nation. Every design was like a moment in time, reminding us that greatness is never sudden. It is earned through sacrifice and perseverance. Then came a new era, 2010. The reverse side now bore the Union Shield, a powerful symbol of unity and strength. It wasn't just a pattern, it was a promise, a declaration that America stands together, and always will. And so, the 2014 Lincoln penny emerged, a symbol of an entire century carved into copper. Look closely. On one side, the calm face of Abraham Lincoln. On the other, the proud Union Shield. Together, they tell a story that true wealth lies not in money, but in character. Think about it. A coin you might carry in your pocket, something you spend without a thought, is actually a silent witness of time. It has seen generations change. It has carried the message of freedom and unity for over 100 years. It still shines today, whispering the same timeless truth, that honor never fades and legacy never dies.